Today, I will be explaining how different personality theories help me understand Steven from Steven Universe, and which approaches were most and least useful in understanding his development. I will connect this directly to the written analysis I created, but this presentation will also extend those ideas by comparing the theories to one another. To begin, Maslow's hierarchy of needs was one of the most helpful ways to understand Steven's growth over time. Maslow's theory focuses on how people move from basic needs like safety and belonging to higher needs like self-esteem and self-actualization. When I look at Steven's character arc, I can clearly see him moving through these levels. Early in the series, he is focused on security, trying to understand his powers and protect himself from threats. Then he becomes motivated by belonging, wanting acceptance from the crystal gems, and trying to live up to Rose's legacy. Eventually, as he learns more about himself, he begins seeking self-actualization by choosing his identity instead of the ones others expect from him. This theory helped me understand that the overall direction of Steven's development and the deeper motivations behind his choices, which is why I found it very useful. Rogers' theories was also helpful, particularly his ideas about self-concept and unconditional positive regard. Rogers helped me understand why Steven struggles so much with identity and emotional pressure. Steven receives a lot of unconditional support from Greg and the Gems, but he also feels pressure to live up to the Rose. This creates a gap between who he really is and who he feels he needs to be, which Rogers calls incongruence. This theory made it easier to interpret Steven's emotional struggles, especially in Steven Universe Future, where he begins to break down under the weight of expectations. Rogers' ideas gave me insight into Steven's inner conflict, making this another strong approach for analyzing him. Skinner's behavioral theory helped me understand why Steven behaves the way he does, especially his constant need to help others. Operant conditioning explains that behavior increases when it is reinforced, and Steven is always praised for solving problems and healing others. Over time, he learns that his value comes from helping, which is why he takes responsibilities for everyone's problems. While this theory was helpful for explaining specific behaviors, it was less useful for understanding Steven's deeper emotional struggles because Skinner focuses mainly on observable actions rather than internal thoughts or feelings. For that reason, I found Skinner to be one of the less complete approaches for understanding Steven as a whole person. Bandura's social cognitive theory was extremely helpful because it connects behavior, environment, and personal beliefs. Steven learns a lot through observation, especially from the crystal gems, and his confidence grows as he becomes more successful. Bandura's idea of reciprocal determinism also describes Steven well. His environment shapes him, but he also shapes the environment through his kindness and leadership. This theory helps me understand how Steven's surroundings, experiences, and personal beliefs all affect each other. Because the show focuses so much on relationship and emotional learning, Bandura's approach felt like one of the best fits for analyzing Steven. Overall, the most useful theories for understanding Steven were Maslow's and Bandura's. Maslow helped me understand his long-term development and what motivates him at different stages of the story. Bandura helped me understand how Steven learns from others and how his environment affects his sense of self. Rogers' theory was also very helpful for explaining his emotional struggles, while Skinner's theory was the least helpful because it could not fully explain Steven's inner world or his complex identity issues. Each approach offered something valuable, but the humanistic and social cognitive theories gave the clearest and most complete picture of Steven as a character.